The sun peeked through the window as Tony woke up with a big stretch. Today felt special, a new school day filled with new adventures. Downstairs, the smell of pancakes filled the kitchen. Tony helped his mom set the table, giggling as he balanced a spoon on his nose. With his backpack bouncing, Tony skipped down the sidewalk, greeting neighbors and enjoying the chirping birds and blue sky above. At school, Tony worked hard on his art project. He colored carefully, proud of every stroke, and even helped a friend who dropped their crayons. Back home, Tony showed his artwork to his parents. They smiled wide, hugging him tight. A simple day, but filled with love, laughter, and little victories. Raindrops tapped gently on the window. Tony peeked outside with wide eyes. It was a school day, but everything looked like a puddle party. Tony pulled on his boots with a grin. "Puddles, here I come," he said as his mom packed his umbrella and lunch. Every step to school was a splashy hop. Tony laughed with friends as they danced through puddles together. Inside school, Tony used the rain as inspiration, drawing stormy skies and umbrellas in art class. After a wet day, Tony returned home to warm socks and a tight family hug. Rainy days could be magical too. Tony rummaged through his toy box looking for something special, his tiny wind-up dinosaur. It always made his class laugh. As he walked to school, Tony imagined how he would introduce his dinosaur, with a roaring voice and all. When it was his turn, Tony's hands shook a little, but then he remembered the dinosaur's roar and smiled wide. Tony gave the loudest dino roar he could. The whole class burst into laughter and clapped. At home, Tony placed the dinosaur back on his shelf, whispering, "We did great today, buddy." Tony sat at his desk, frowning at a tough math question. "Ugh, I'll never get it," he sighed. Mom peeked in and sat beside him. "Let's break it into steps," she said gently. Tony listened closely. Suddenly, it clicked. "Oh, I get it now!" Tony shouted, eyes wide with excitement. At dinner, Tony explained the whole problem to Dad. This time, he was the teacher. Tony fell asleep with a smile, knowing he had conquered the math monster. And tomorrow would bring more adventures. Tony's class got a new plant to care for. "We'll name it Leafy," Tony grinned. It was Tony's turn to water Leafy. He carried the watering can carefully, like a superhero on a mission. One morning, Leafy looked sad. Tony gasped. The soil was too dry. "We forgot to water it." Tony and his friends gently watered Leafy and moved it to the window. "Let's bring it back," he said with hope. A few days later, Leafy stood tall again. "Teamwork saved our plant," Tony cheered. Subscribe to our channel if you love our video. Leave a comment if you want more video.